my Khez. I'm the guest on today's show of the Funky Jazz podcast. Please watch it, like it, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Thank you.
Everyone, please welcome the ever so gorgeous, the visionary behind this podcast, Dr. Khez, aka Khez
Yeah, man.
You know, she's here with us, and like I said earlier onwards, she is the visionary behind the Funky Jazz podcast. And today we just wanna, find out more about her. Why the podcast? Who is Khez, and everything about her. It is so ironic that I am standing beside this ever so gorgeous woman. You wear so many hats. I just want you to tell us who is Khez, aka Khez. You've got so many names. Nyamani.
Hi guys. Well, you're right. I have so many names and so many hats that I'm wearing, as you said. My Khez Nyamani, as you said, is a life enthusiast. I love people. I love life, and I love being in a progressive state. I'm from Free State. Some would say I have a free state of mind. Well, that's the thing. I have a feeling that if we worked as a collective, everyone worked as a collective, we can actually be able to reach whatever goals that we want, and whatever dreams that we have individually will be more quicker to get to than hardly on an individual basis. And like you said, what this podcast is about, Funky Jazz. Well, the podcast is mainly to help people realize their dreams. Basically, that is it. I want people to have that free state of mind where they know, okay, that is where the seed of whatever it is that they want. And on top of that, they actually have the freedom to do whatever it is they want with their lives.
Let's talk about the genesis. When you were sitting at home and this idea just comes in your head, bang. Let's go back to the genesis of it. Why the Funky Jazz podcast? And mainly, what is it that you're trying to do when you say that I want to develop the economy of our township businesses?
True. Well, to be honest, it's because Kokasi, as we know, is mostly black people. Sure. If not, well, mostly because of Because of that, Kasi is a place that we call home, and Kasi is where our roots start from. For us, by these generations that are coming up. We all know the African culture and African history goes way back, even pre-colonial. What I'm basically doing, just to sum up your question, is getting us, when I was thinking about it, I was looking at how we are as a people, and I was realizing we are we all closing ourselves up to the idea or ideology of how a black person can thrive. And I thought, but a black person can thrive. Not only have we seen it with multiple other people across the country, across the world, but we even know pre-colonially with the history. This is what we're about in this podcast. What I'm noticing, not only do we have the capabilities, but we have proof. We have the capabilities. So what I want us to do with the podcast is revisit our history, rewrite our history. And because this is a Val economy growth, I want us to focus on the Val people. When it starts somewhere.
Charity begins at home.
Exactly. It starts somewhere before it blossoms out there. Right now we're in Sasolburg, which is actually part of the Val. And Sasolburg on its own, in its own rich history, black history. Every so we can actually talk about that can help us become a progressive system. And like Farina and Shadville, they also have their own rich histories. So what I would like us to do is interlink them and show as a chain we cannot be broken as a black people. And as a chain we are longer, and we've got more to give than we are as a individual.
I want to come back to you. You've mentioned something that there's a stigma around black people that we can't make it. in your own in your own words, or rather in your own perspective, what do you think that needs to happen for us to eradicate that stigma that, you know, as black people we can't make it, as black people we are not innovators?
Funny enough, black people innovate a lot, and with that said, what you say, what needs to happen for the change in mindset? We need to change the way we think as a black people. We need to think for anything to be big and successful. Then let's start like other white men. I'm sorry to say, that is unfortunately how we've been programmed. If it's funny that I'm saying this. Actually, a friend of mine was telling me the other day, he was saying he came up with an idea, a brilliant idea, and he wants to go and give it to just to let people know about it and start working on it. And someone said, dude, this thing is new to us, and if the white man has not thought of it, what makes you think it's going to pass? And this guy's like, but this is actually going to work. It's innovative, and it's something that if it catches on, it's going to make him money and make his people money. But on that small scale, it just shows us progressive mindset. I think it's because of what we're letting into our classes, what we're letting into our lives. We need to learn to know what you put in is what makes you. It's the same with the food.
True. You know, there's a book that I read, not that I'm promoting it, but it's called The Capitalist Leader. You know, I find it that the writer is so angry. Yeah, exactly. You know, because on that book he mentions that black people, we are not innovators, we are consumers. What are your thoughts when it comes to that?
Well, we are consumers. Everyone consumes on this planet, and because of that, we have been. And I'm not blaming our parents, Shem. Our parents live on their parents at the same time. They've only been taught a good enough university degree. We've never been taught go to school, learn how to be independent in your thinking. So you don't go to school you have to go to school just to know how to learn. Then after that, you use that mentality or that brain that you have to help you progress the people around you to be progressive. So unfortunately, it's been going from generation to generation that we've been taught that that's all we can do. So because of that, we are taught the consumers. That's why we think we cannot be innovators. And when someone suppresses you and they make you feel like you belong in a cage as a wild animal, for the longest time you're going to believe that you belong in a cage until such a time somebody comes and liberates you and opens that cage. You are still going to think you're in a cage because you've lived your life thinking you're in a cage. Man, slowly but surely, if you open up your mind, then you can see where your environment is opening up. So when the cage has been opened, now we are still in the cage. All we need to do now is show the black guy, the black girl, the black child, the environment is there for you to do whatever with it because it is yours. It's gonna take a while. And the good thing about these kind of podcasts is that this is not the first thing that are happening. Now I'm just trying to start a TMO vibe so that we all work as a chain, like I said. We understand we already are outside of the cage. Already the cage has been opened. Because we're so comfortable with it. To be honest. So how do we get out of the cage? And how do we realize we are not within the cage type of a surrounding. We are out in the world, and we innovators, man, and we are creators. That's the word I use. We are creators, and in our creativity, how far can we go? Can we just at least try and see that? That's why this podcast is happening.
Sure. I'm gonna go back to you as a person, before we can go deeper into.
We can I can go
deeper into this podcast. When I introduced you, I said you are a woman. You wear so many hats. You are a dentist. You are a businesswoman, and you are a mother.
Yes.
That on its own is a lot for somebody to carry, because guess what? All of us got it. We've been given 24 hours, but it's all about how you utilize them.
True.
What outstanding, you know. And how do you prioritize all of these, you know?
Yeah, I hear you. Where do I start with this one? I want to put it out there. I'm a dental therapist.
Okay.
And there's a reason. That's another story for another day. There's a reason why I like correcting people, because then when you have a dental practice and people see you, they automatically think, oh, you're a dentist, and you did nothing wrong there. Linda, as anybody else, unless if I'm within the field, I would think anyone who has a practice is a dentist. I'm a dental therapist. There is a difference. But the point that I'm trying to make is that I don't want people to think, Hori, because you are black, it means you are unemployed, for example. That's why I'm making a differentiation between a dentist and a dental therapist. But anyways, coming back to my profession. So dentistry is what puts bread on the table. It's been putting bread on the table, and I work with wonderful people. Mari, for me to basically jump into entrepreneurship, I think that's where you're asking how do I do it, is because in dentistry, as much as I love seeing people have beautiful smiles, I feel like their souls are not smiling. So I felt like it's my duty, yes, I gave it up on myself. It's my duty just to see we all get to realize our why. Our why is, why are you on earth? Why did God bring you here? There is a reason. Find that reason and let it blossom. So I felt the need. It's just something that just was there. I felt the need to just come and get this out so that people could understand how you have a seed out this planet. So you need to water that seed and let it grow. Most people don't let it grow because they've been taught so many things that they are being like something, but like the whole day when it's like a key.
Like I usually say,
and then exactly. And then later on you're like, where did I put my key? I think that's what we've done. We let society and beliefs and laws and regulations and whatever pile up on the seed of our purpose. So that's where I come in with my life coach, because besides dental therapy, I'm also a life coach. So my being a life coach was me answering to my call, so to say. I realized there's that seed. And I feel in my being a life coach, it's a drive, to help people to realize that that seed does exist. Everything that's piling on top of it is just clouding you from the real you that you are. So that's me trying to help people with that, discovering their seeds and helping them deal with it and help them progress properly in life. And another thing that I do is, I do a lot of things.
That's why I was saying that you wear so many things.
And I'm also a mom. In me being a mother, even when I've left this earth. And I don't want them to think, somebody else can come and dictate to them how their life goes. So with the time question, how do I make it? I let it be my daily break, my daily life, my life. I don't try and structure it. Oh no, this is what I do, that's what I do. I let things flow, firstly. And yes, I do have a 9 to 5, so I do go to my 9 to 5. And during that time, I talk to, there's a spiritual realm that we spoke about, that I always talk to the other side of me. Whoever sent me with the seed, he's always there. He can't send me with the seed. So I always talk to him, right now. And whatever he wants to happen, he lets it happen. So I let it flow. So I don't try to manage my time. I feel that God is already doing that for me.
You've mentioned something of, realizing who you are. That's the most important thing, because most of us, we are not living our purpose, because we haven't realized who we really are. The purpose why we are here on earth. We need to serve that purpose. And I just want to ask you, rather, I just want you to comment on that. For somebody who would say that, I've been doing, or rather I'm thinking that I'm doing this, but I'm not serving my purpose. What would be your advice to that kind of an individual?
If they don't think they're serving the purpose, that's how I feel when you're not living according to your purpose. You feel it. Why you feel it. I don't care what you say. Or when I that thing that tells you, even when you sleep at night, you can't even sleep. well at night, you know you're not in alignment. Understand? And some people, unfortunately, they do drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and they go out of their way. Others become womanizers, others become criminals of the worst sort, like murderers and stuff. And in that happening, and that's the worst of the lot. Let's come closer to home. How can closing, and then you decide, okay, this is how I want to get my day to be done. I'm gonna wake up, cash if during that process you meet up with people and you don't even greet them, firstly, it's a problem. It means there's something wrong with you. If at the second thing, when you buy the bread or you make the food, you eat it and you're not fulfilled, like as you eat, you have to enjoy yourself. You have to enjoy life. That's what you do it. I'm a life enthusiast. The only one way is that you have to enjoy it. And every time, the process that you go through in your daily, if you go through the whole thing and you don't enjoy it, you feel like it's a duty, you are forced to doing it, then there's something wrong. Then you know you're not living according to your purpose. But the minute you get into something like you shine when you do your job. You know, you go back to radio and you will do the interview, and I could hear it even without seeing your face. The voice, your voice, the energy that you put out tells me that you enjoy what you're doing. Then you know there's some kind of alignment going on, and that's how people can find their purpose. As soon as you find that thing, don't feel like it's not a duty to do. Don't feel like I can just do it without being paid for. But do pay them and just say, when that can happen, then you know you are in alignment. If you can do it without getting paid, I'm sorry to say, but let's come back to me. In dentistry, if someone said, we're not going to pay you for this, go ahead, I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. But if someone came and said, coach me, help me how to get my life in order, and I'm not going to pay you, because when I do it, I don't even look at time. It passes by.
I wanted to tap into that, I didn't purposely. I wanted you to unleash, I wanted you to unleash that in you, and that's the reason why you are a life coach. You're not only a life coach, you're not only a dental therapist, you're not only a mother, but also let's talk about Plus M, another business that you are doing. This is another baby.
Yeah, I know, I have so many babies when it comes to entrepreneurship and business. Plus M, that's the wine. We should be drinking
exactly.
Much wine.
The 12.
Yes, the producers of the show must make a plan. Anyhow, so Laston is wine. It's a wine brand that I have. I'm with my sister and my cousin.
So it's a family.
It's a family thing, yeah.
It's a family affair.
So Laston started early this year, actually, January. When it started, I'm a wine lover. So when it started, it was one of those things. We want to see how far this can go, and then we started talking to some vineyards and wineries in the Cape to try and see if we can create some kind of exclusive wine for us. And we actually found a company that does that for us, and they actually exclusively make wine for us. And then me and my cousin were like, no man, why don't we just bottle this and sell it? And then we're like, why not? And that's what we did. We bottled it according to our specifications because we love the wine and we know what kind of taste we like. And then that's what we went for. But along the way, I realized that, hey, no man, why do we have to always go to Cape to like the wine? Why can't we make that ourselves? And that's where the entrepreneurial bug in me bit. And I thought to myself, no, that's what I'm going to do. We did start the wine business. We do brand it. It is Lost in, and it is exclusively made for us. But we're going a bit bigger now. We want to actually make the wine ourselves, not ask other people. So we actually have a team that's learning. But if it's sommeliers who can taste the wine and can tell the different kinds of wine, your connoisseurs or whatever. I don't have the right wording for it, but I have a team of those people. Even though they're not permanently with us, they have their own other lives. Any kind of tips or information or ideas on how to make Lost in what we really want it to be. They're there. So there's that too. What about Lost in?
So how is Lost in doing compared to your dental practice?
Okay, Lost in, like I said, it's getting there. Because of the now new idea that came up mid-year, I sort of paused a lot of the sales because we are now trying to be not really niche, but we're trying to get to that point where we're like, this is 100% ours. So no, we're still working on the regulations that are level. Mari, on a scale, getting fame. Lost-in is well known now across the Val and other regions, Free State and Gauteng. A lot of people know about it already, which is awesome. We've halted a bit with the sales, but it's doing pretty well. With the dental is working well. People do support me, and I'm very thankful for that. I cannot really compare the two because I feel like Lost-in is still a baby and it's still finding its feet. And with the dental part, dentistry is still, well, it's already gotten its way up. All it has to do go thrive. It just needs to thrive, and that's what I'm working on. Just making sure, okay, this baby, I've let her grow up. No, it's a little teenager going to varsity. I'm letting her be free. So, and Lost-in is still a little baby that I'm still trying to mold into something great.
You know, when you talk about wine or glass-in wine, right? We know that this industry is mainly dominated by white people, and it's recently now that we're seeing our black brothers and sisters, penetrating this market, trying to make it as well into the wine industry. In your perspective, how do you see us as black people? Do you feel that that there is much that we can do in this industry, or we're just trying to tap into something
because we're really doing it?
Exactly.
No, yeah, it's a good thing that you asked that. Yes and no. Yes. So black people, and whether they can make it or not. Black people firstly need to learn how to unlearn. Marry, because we have been able to do so many things. Let's be honest.
Of course, we are the inventors.
How good are we coming to guys?
Very good.
Yes. And fine, we haven't gotten to that part where some will say it's being civilized and being progressive, but we really haven't gotten it that far. Mari, what I think black people can do, they can do better than just doing grape wine type of thing. We can do blueberry wines, we can do whatever you think of, because wine is basically made from fruits again, and then whatever fruit it is, it gets the culture ever fermented, and then they get fermented, and they have different ways of fermenting it and different ways of bottling it, of storing it. So yeah, definitely, to answer your question, then people can definitely do that, and they can even do it better. The thing is, can I just say this? But to my side sometimes is that black people are generally minimalists. I don't want to necessarily do a black history thing, but we know the black men came to Africa because there was war in Europe. And because there was war in Europe, they were killing themselves, so they came to the side. They had already basically ruined their land at that side. They came to Africa, which was already, which is still pure land, and then they came and then they did what they did to it. So and the people were already here, and the white men did not get land that was not getting inhabited. So meaning we were still here and we were still doing the most with what we had, and we've got resources for days, but we learned how to work with our resources because the African child understands spirituality. How you work at spirituality, I'm not just talking about you and yourself and understanding your God. It's you, yourself, in your environment, having a connection with them, having a relationship with them. We had that symbiotic way of living, which worked well for us until he came, and then he was like, no, I'm an inventor. So take this, cut it here and there, and just basically finish it off. We would say, take this, cut it here, work on that. A little bit of it will grow some more, cut a little bit more. When we give it time to grow and we get a relationship with it. So yes, black people are inventors, black people are creators, black people are nurturers. So whatever we do, we take good care of it and we make sure that we multiply it. We don't ruin it, we don't exploit it, we multiply it.
From what what you just said, I just wish that this could be our mantra as Black people, that, you know, we are developers, you know.
Exactly.
We are developers, and like I said earlier onwards, there's so much that needs to be unlearned when it comes to what we have been fed by our white counterparts, saying that, you know, a Black person cannot amount to anything, a Black person, you know, cannot do anything besides a white person being led by a white person. How do we work class in a house? You said it's a family affair type of business, right?
Yeah.
In our families with siblings, uncles, moms, our dad. And also when it comes to a family business, you know, but how do you guys do it as a family to ensure that how I need to conflict when it comes to classing?
My bad, sorry about that. We don't fight.
Yeah.
We haven't had that conversation yet, but we don't fight. Reason being, when this started, I get it, if this can happen, and we decided, let's bottle it. And it's been happening since. The good thing that we do is communicate. And that's what I feel like we don't have proper communication happening amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
Not just family, as friends, as companies, and I'm being specific with the Black nation.
Yeah.
We don't have proper communication skills, and that's I think that's the one thing we got right with my family, because as much as our parents did not get it right, we learned from them. I'm from a family that, dude, I'm not even saying this in a bad way. Like, my mom would not be talking to a certain aunt on my dad's side of the family.
And it's kids we inherited.
Hey, and then we inherit the separation of, no, you can't go to mama's house type of a thing. Mary, as cousins, we sat down and we actually had a discussion about it. No, guys, we cannot do this. We are the next generation, and our kids are coming. But so we decided back then that we're not going to be that kind of a family. We're not fighting. If there's anything we're not happy about, let's communicate about it. Let's now. So if you've noticed, I'm that kind of a person. If there's a problem, can we just deal with it and just get it over and done with? Because if we don't do that, then it will create a bomb that's just boiling up. By the time it just explodes, everybody gets hurt. Everybody, it doesn't matter, you included, the owner of the bomb. So yeah, that's where it's from. So we don't really fight. So far, so good. I think we've done a great job. Because on one hand, I guess when God makes it's millions and billions. But with the foundation that we have, I don't foresee that.
You know, between you being a dental therapist, there's last aid, there's you being a life coach, and really getting it in the fact that you are a mother. I don't know, all of these businesses, kids are how, right?
Yes.
And then everything and ordering, you know what this brings out to me.
Honestly speaking, it's like I could ask the same question with what you do, what brings out you. I think with anyone being asked that question, the answer would be, and it should be, that with me it's not necessarily the company that brings out me, but fortunately for me, I know a life coach is what I'm into. So life coach brings out the best in me. It pours out to the others, so to speak. So thanks to me learning how to do this life coach business, I've incorporated it into my dental work. So I kind of enjoy dentistry more now that I'm a life coach. And thanks to that, I incorporated it into the dressing, which is part of Fantastic. Fantastic is a company that's owned by me and my sister. So whenever there's issues in Fantastic, I remember what I've learned in life coaching, and together with me having passion for it, it becomes easier for me to handle certain situations within the different companies. Even as a mom, my daughter will tell you, my way of thinking has changed, and she's 12 now. So during this time, as I became a life coach and as I'm transitioning, she was there. She saw the whole transition. And so my way of thinking has changed from back then. I used to have a very negative way of thinking. Everything I saw, I see the glass half empty. So no, if I say anything that sounds negative or half empty, she will say, Mommy, that's not how you do it. You're supposed to say this and that. Or rather think of it in this way. See the glass half empty, half full. That make it have integrity, and she says it's helpful, which makes me see that there has been incorporation of life coaching and all stages of life.
Talk about incorporation of life. I would work, you being a dentist and a life coach, how does the two interlink?
Well, I work with people. So because I work with people, it goes without saying, I work with people's lives. When a person walks into a dental practice, you have to the person first thing. So you cannot just be working with the person and thinking, okay, you're just dealing with the tooth. You're dealing with the whole being. So you have to have some kind of alignment with them. And spiritually speaking, I've said this before, there has to be a spiritual alignment with you and that person. And because that person came, I mean, anyone who goes to a doctor, at some point, something has gone wrong. Some will say it's a disease, they're not at peace anymore. And when that happens, it means there's some breakage in the alignment with your higher power or your spirituality. So what I do, or rather how I feel for this is helping out one another, is that now my clients, I read their energies. I've learned how to do that. I've learned how to read energies, and it's something that we all do, by the way. We all read the energies whether we know it or not. Now you have to be in tune with it. You have to be aware of it to be able to practice it. So that's what I do. Thanks to life coaching, I now learn how to read energies and how to be able to help the patient. Sometimes, when I look at pulling a bit deeper than that, and if I can tap into that, then I help them with whatever issues that they have, and it becomes great because they might not have paid me directly for me helping them with their lives, but I get happy because they got the kind of service that they were looking for, but not so directly. So,
one of your personality is that you love people, right? And then also you want to see a black child making it. Let's talk about, I call it your other passion in developing the economy of partnership. Let's tap into that. Tell me about that. This passion that you have.
Oh, guys, this is like a big, eh? I love people. I love my black people. Unfortunately, pull down syndrome.
Exactly. Yes.
We have that. Black people have a pull down syndrome, which is changing now. I've seen there's been a bit of change. So what I do is I've done NPOs. I have an NPO. And in my NPO, get to Savannah with their schoolwork and subject interventions. So in subject intervention, I want to help them understand where they are in life and where they want to be. Everything is alignment.
Yes.
Everything is alignment. So from your school subjects to them, they have to align with what you'll be doing in life later on. So don't come and say, I want to do maths and physics and stuff and IT type of subjects, when in essence you're more of a people's person, or you're more agricultural, so you've got hands that grow things. So if you've got that, instead of technology, rather do something that grows things. You go someone else has hands that fixes, that can heal. They will be a technician or a doctor. Mary, you have to first understand your alignment, and that's when it goes back to home.
Yeah.
But so we're gonna have a real one, guys.
And also they don't support our dreams, eh? A degree in your name in black and white. Whereas when you're an artist.
Okay, so what do you say to a child now that you know what you know? You tell them, child, no, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I will guide you with what I know. Mary, there has to be a communication, and that's what I'm trying to do. That's the gap I'm trying to bridge, guys. Where I tell people, it's okay to make mistakes. If anything, you should make mistakes, And it's okay to fear, because people want to run away from fear. Fear is part of our life, but we have to learn how to use fear. We have to learn how to conquer it. Once you've conquered fear, you know then it's limitless. For example, someone did some bungee jumping. They're freaking scared of heights, but then they do it anyways. Have you seen the liberation of the people? If you've seen the videos, if you've done it close to you, I haven't, I still have to go do it. Who go and they jump off a cliff by the bungee jumping. They're so scared at the beginning, man. How could that interviewer? Yeah, most exhilarated or happy or feel like they have
conquered death. Yeah,
exactly. And that's what we need to learn to do.
Yeah,
you know, and there's a number of things that I have in mind as we're speaking. I'm like, black child has to learn how to do these. Firstly, we have to go back to our roots.
Yeah.
Learn our indigenous games. There's a lesson in them. There's a lesson in indigenous games. There's something valuable in indigenous games. For example, Scotch. As long as Scotch, for example, can teach you a lot of things about symmetries, symmetrical things and stuff. Mathematically speaking. It's strategic ways of thinking. And there are other games that are out there and that I want us to start talking about and understanding what value am I getting out of them. Because 100 years of black people are smart people, guys. When they came up with these games, when they came up with all these concepts, they were not just doing it for idle, passing of time. They were doing it because there was something within them that you're learning, something you're getting out of them, some kind of value they will turn on from you. And that's why I want us to go back to that. And then another thing, now that we're now in the present, black child must learn how to live in the outdoorsy. Go hiking, go bungee jumping, go camping, go find out what's out there.
I think we have labeled those the white person exactly. Because I'm like, why? I'm not gonna do bungee. What is the bungee jumping?
And you need to do that for the whole alignment. You can't be saying I'm spiritual and just know thyself. You do not know yourself if you don't understand who you are around. Yes, you do know yourself. That's good. But if there's no alignment, if there's no connection, what are you saying? Because no man is an island.
Exactly. Very true. You spoke a lot about a black child. You spoke a lot about how, the fact that you are a mother. And also, what's about Joloka, there are values that we instill in our children. What values do you instill in your kids?
Honestly, I'm going to say this thing that I used to think my mother was teaching us. How to be liberal.
Yeah.
Really thinking of how you are directing your life. Be a liberated soul. I teach my kids every day. People, there's so much that people say kids are that the girl, I'm making her a feminist. Because my girl's always girl power, girl power. I was like, now I was going that direction. Clearly, that's the direction she took. That shows me that she's got that way of thinking where she can hold an argument with someone other than no, this is what's supposed to happen. And as much as sometimes the ideas that our kids come up with or the way of thinking, it's a new way of thinking.
Yeah.
The least you could do is acknowledge it and entertain it just for that while to see what it is bringing. And then as a parent, like I said, reality guidelines on how our kids should live. Because at the end of the day, we are the parents. Then with whatever you guide the kids, then tell them, okay, I think this is the best way to do it. But that's what I'm teaching my kids, the value of liberation. Learn how to be able to think for yourself. I think that's the best value of all of them. Respect, honesty, and your trust and psyche. They go without saying that liberally, having that free way of thinking. That's what I'm.
Talking about liberation and free way of thinking, as a businesswoman, who do you look up to?
Look up to you. I don't have a specific person I look up to. Like down the line, I thought I looked up to all these big business women who have done well. I'm noticing as I go along, your lady who is out there who's cleaning. There's a lady who cleans here. She was outside this morning. I look up to that lady, for example. Why? Because of humility. I look up to women who have humility. I look up to women who have respect, not just for other people, for themselves too. I look up to women who are encouraging, who are nurturing. Because the woman is them, who are nurturing. And for you to nurture somebody, you have to encourage them to do better. You don't put them down. So I don't have a specific characteristic or rather a specific personality. It's different people who embody different things that I look for in people. that kind of strength or that kind of value that I see. So like I said, humility, respect, trust, encouragement, nurturing, women who are fearless, you know, and fearless in the sense that like they don't mind speaking their mind, but they are considerate. I also like considerate people. Be considerate of the people you know. Be considerate of who you are too, and what you're trying to teach or what you're trying to give out to the world. So I love considerate people. So like I said, it's a number of things. So it's not just one woman, but you are there too.
And we're also adding that woman, you know, who's selling amagunya, who's selling, you know, besides the road avocados. The reason, tenacity and determination, the reason why I'm saying we also need to add them on the list is because, Khez, how when you're driving and it starts to rain, that woman literally, you know, you won't see that woman packing up. Exactly, resilience, and determination, you know. It is freezing. You would see that woman, the avocado high or whatever that
you know.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it is, you know, whether the storm. Exactly. You know, they are there. So I think also those are the kind of women that we need to celebrate. Not only they make the parts happen. That's true. Khez, before we wrap up this interview, I want us to
wrap it up already.
I want us to go back to, you know, what should a person who will be listening, or rather, you know, listening to this podcast, look forward to it in terms of when we started, when I introduced you, I said that you are the visionary behind this podcast, and I also mentioned the main reason why we're having this podcast. For somebody who's like, I want to follow them, what should they look forward to?
I know I said we work in a community of individualism, but we promote that.
Yeah.
As an individual way of thinking. No. So they should watch it if they are the kind of person who can think outside of the line. You know, follow the yellow brick road type of situation. Or is it the other way around? I don't know. But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want a person who can be able to think beyond. And when I interviewed them, cognitive dissonance, where you are told one thing and that goes against your beliefs, and you get so confused. I was told that Jesus is white, now somebody's telling me Jesus is black. You get so confused. So I want someone who can be able to take those the thought pattern or the thoughts that does not align with or are just a bit against what they understand. I want someone who can be like, you know what, I'm going in. I want to be able to think beyond what I already think. Like, so someone who's willing to learn, someone who's willing to unlearn, and someone who's willing to be progressive in their life and can help other people be progressive in theirs. Someone who feels within themselves they are a visionary. There's a dream that they have within themselves that they want to see come to life. You know, that person is the person who should watch this, because what we do here in the podcast is not just talk. No, I want this to be something of a movement where it happens, we talk about it, and then have it in a week, 2 weeks, whenever, even immediately, we see change that happens because of what we've been talking about. Somebody who has, somebody who's willing to teach people. I'm looking for what do you say, trailblazers here. Not in your business sense, trailblazers in your historian type of sense, where people can rewrite our stories. You can help rewrite our stories. Like I'm sure you can think of others, right? There's like a whole lot. There's a whole lot. But yeah, basically that. Someone who just knows what they want to pick up, or who's not sure and they're trying to get there, but they know that there's a fire burning within that person. And think, because we're gonna make this a great community with their input, with them here.
Indeed, it's just going to be a great community. We are a family. This is the Funky Jazz podcast. Like I said, it's one of its kind. Mona Hai Mobile Mona. Ladies and gentlemen, she is the ever so gorgeous Khez Nyamani. She wears so many hairs, and you've just heard a lot from her. But having said that, thank you so much for joining us until we do the second episode.
Yeah, second episode. Thank you.